Good morning, YouTube. I am Bearded Ink, and today we have another quick tutorial for you on how to get scrolling credits on your ending scene. This one is fairly simple. There is a link in the description below to my Ko-Fi page where you can download the HTML file that we need. So go ahead and grab that, unzip the pack. You're going to find two files inside. We are going to look at the .html file called, what did I name it? It's called scrolling credits for sb.html. We're going to need Streamerbot, we're going to need OBS, and this file opened in a text editor such as Notepad or Notepad++. And it's really simple. So let's just go through the setup and then the configuration, and you'll be good to go with scrolling credits on your next stream. All right, so once you have the file downloaded from Ko-Fi, you're going to unzip the file and you're going to find inside that there are two different files here for you. We have the scrolling credits for sb.html and the readme.txt. Readme.txt basically just walks you through everything in case you don't want to watch this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this HTML file somewhere safe, somewhere permanent. So if you have your streaming directory somewhere on your computer where you keep all of your stream related stuff, that's where you want to put it. I'm going to just leave it on the desktop for this tutorial, but obviously you don't want it somewhere where it could possibly get deleted or moved or renamed or anything like that. So put it somewhere permanent and then we will move on. So first thing we want to do is we want to go to OBS and we're going to set that up to accept our HTML file as a browser source. So first thing, let's just go into OBS. You want to go to your ending scene. As you can see, we are currently on your ending scene. And we're going to add a new browser source. So just in these sources below, we're going to click the little plus button, and then we're going to say browser. Now you can name it whatever you want here. I'm just going to name it credits, for example, and we're going to say OK. Now we want to click the little box here for local file. We're going to click browse. We're going to browse to wherever it is that you saved that HTML folder. In my case, it's the desktop. We're going to click OK, and you will see it there. The width and height doesn't really matter. You can set it to whatever you want. I like to leave the width about 800, but the height, I like to make the full screen. So for mine, my canvas is 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to do 1080 there for the height. We can then scroll all the way to the bottom. And you're going to see this box here, refresh browser when scene becomes active. We want to go ahead and check that just so it refreshes when we come here every time and we're not displaying a cached version of the credits. And then we're going to say, OK. And then you can move this box and you can see that you're already going to have some stuff here. And I'll explain why in a minute. But I'm just going to put mine in the middle of the scene. And then we are done here in OBS for now. So we can minimize that. All right, let's go back to our desktop. Now we're going to go into Streamerbot. There's a few things we need to do in Streamerbot. So first thing, we open up Streamerbot and we're going to go to the server and clients tab. And then we're going to make sure that we're on the WebSocket server here. And you want to make sure this is set to auto start and that the server is running. And you'll know the server is running if the stop server button is able to be clicked, but the start server button is not. And what you want to take a look at here is the port number. As you can see, we're here on port 8080, which is the default. And unless you have a reason to change this, it will always remain 8080. Now, if you have changed it, we'll need to make note of that so we can change it in the credits HTML file so that we're looking at the right thing. But otherwise, this is your WebSocket setting for Streamerbot to connect to other things internally on your PC. And that's why it has the local address and then the local 8080 port. So once you verify that, then we're going to come over here to the settings tab and we're going to go to credits tab and it's going to look something like this. And as you can see, we have events to record, users present who spoke, and this because this does not track lurkers, and then track the top. And you can come in here and you can check any of these that you want, or you can uncheck them. And whatever is checked will be recorded and stored by Streamerbot. Now, the users say, like I have editors here unchecked. That's because I don't have editors on my page and I don't use the groups for very much in Streamerbot. I don't have specific groups, so I've unchecked those. So it just doesn't store them. But you can check whichever ones you like or uncheck any of these that you don't like. And then the auto reset, just like the first words reset, it's default to 12 hours, but you can set it to whatever you want, or you can click this button to manually reset it. All right. So once you have these all checked and you've verified your server and client, we're basically done with Streamerbot as well. So let's go ahead and zoom back out. And now we can open the HTML file. Now, if you double click on this, it will open in the browser and it will be a blank page. And that's not what we want. We want to open it in a text editor. I use Notepad++, but any basic text editor will work. And when you do so, you're going to get a file that looks similar to this here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go through and do a couple of things. But first, there's one thing you have to do once you are complete and ready to go, is all the way down at the bottom. We're going to find line number 135 here that says request test credits. And then you'll see the little edit there. It says change this to get credits for live usage. And what you want to do is change this from test credits to capital G get credits, just like this, just like it shows here. And once you save this file, this will then pull from Streamerbot. If it's on test credits, which it defaults to, it's how I've written it, to save. So when you first open the file, it will be on test credit. That way you can test things and actually have names populated in all of the events there to see them scrolling by like you did earlier. And the reason we want to do that is because we want to be able to change the font or the colors or the size. And if you reset this and set it to get credits, you have to go live and be live and have people chat for these things to get populated. So the test credits version will basically populate them with fake names or any names that happen to come along while you're testing or have been live since you started storing the credits in Streamerbot, but that might not be very much. So this just kind of gives you a list. So it gives you something to look at. Okay. So we're going to remember this, but if you don't want to make any changes and you just want your credits and you want to go, all you have to do is change test to get, as it says in the instruction line right there, save, and then you're good. Okay. But we're going to go all the way back up to the top here because there's a couple things that we want to do as far as editing. Now, this is set to a font called Sigmar. It's one I got off of Google Fonts, and we're going to show you how to change that because the font, as you can see, may not be for everybody. Now, if it's one you like, leave it alone. Okay. All of these edits that we're about to show you are purely optional. But this is what your credits will look like out of the box if you don't make any changes. Okay, so we're going to go to this line here, line number 6, where the @import URL, and then you'll notice this is a Google Fonts line, and the font family here is Sigmar. So what we want to do is we want to go to Google Fonts. And all you have to do is type in Google Fonts, and then we'll go here. And it's just fonts.google.com. I'll put that link down in the description below for you as well. But what happens is you're going to come to a page with a lot of different fonts. Surprise, surprise. And all you do is you find one that you like. So here's the Sigmar that we've used. But let's find something a little less abusive on the stylistic things here. So maybe this Atkinson Hyperlegible Mono. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to click onto this here, and then up in the top right, you'll see the Get Font button. Let me zoom in just so you can see it on here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on this, and then there's going to be Get the Embed Code, and we're going to click on that. Okay, and then you're going to see all of these things down here. We want this @import, and then you're going to see it's going to give you all of this stuff. Now, we don't need all of the extra different styles and stuff. So what we want to do is we want to find out where it stops. So Atkinson Hyperlegible Mono, and then there's this colon here. So we want to take this name, so from family there. And we're going to say copy. We're going to copy that. We're going to go back into our text editor. And then we got the family equals. And then here, we're just going to paste over the top of that. Now, if you want to manually write this in, you can. You just have to make sure that everything is spelled exactly right. And if it is a multiple word, like you see here, the Atkinson hyper legible mono is 3 words. There is a little plus sign instead of a space between each one. Okay. So make sure that if there are multiple words in the name of the font, that you do have the pluses instead of the spaces. Otherwise, it will break. Okay. So let's go down here to the wrapper now on line 22. What we're going to look at here is we're going to look at lines 26 for the font, and we're going to look at lines 29 for the color. So for the font, the first number where it has 300, that is the thickness or the boldness or the how impactful the font is. So basically not the actual physical pixel size of the letters, but whether it's bold or, something like that. So if you want it more bold, you can change this to like 400 or 500 or 600. But the 30 pixels here divided by 1, this is where our pixel size is. So if you want to make this something different, if you want to make it larger or whatever, for example, we can just change the 30 to a 42. And then you'll see here that we still have the Sigmar here. If you want this to be different, now remember, these are the usernames. This is the username section. So we don't want them bigger than, say, the title, for example. But if you would like to change that so that they have the same font, you just have to type that in, the Atkinson hyper legible mono. Now this one is going to have spaces. Okay, so we can paste that again. And we don't have to type it all, Atkinson, and then we're just going to take the pluses out and we're going to add spaces in their place. So it's going to look just like this. Now, if you want a different font for the usernames compared to the title headings, then that's what you can do. You can come here and we can come here and we can find a new font for the username. And then that will be what we use in that space, right? If you want it to be the exact same, just make sure that it's the exact same as we have it here. So Atkinson Hyperlegible and Atkinson Hyperlegible, and then they will both be the same. Now you'll see that we have a comma and then the sans serif. And basically this is just a backup in case for whatever reason the font that we have does not load. Then we will fall back to a not random, but we'll fall back to the standard sans serif font so that something will always show. Okay, and then on line 29, we have the hex code here, 8C52FF, and as you know, that is that kind of bluey color that we saw. So if we come in here, we can copy this over. We can go into Google again, and if we put this in, you'll see that it's this bluey purpley color here that we saw here in our usernames before, right? So that's the color that we're going to be changing. So all you have to do is find a color here that you want to change it to, say maybe this color, I don't know what, salmon, I guess you would call that. And then there's the hex code right here. We're just going to copy that over. We're going to come into here and line 29 and replace that with what we copied. Okay, and then we're going to come down just a little bit here and we're going to do the same thing for lines 35 and 38. Now 35 is the font size, and you see the headings are set to 72. So if you want those larger or smaller, you can make that change here. And then the color, again, if you want it to not be that blue type of color that we have here, whatever this light blue kind of turquoisey color, you can find something else. And just for drastic measures, we're going to go with this kind of greeny chartreuse color. So again, copy the hex code. We're going to come in here and then line 38, we're going to replace that 5CEIE6 with the new one that we got. Okay. And then that's it for as far as changing your fonts and your font colors and their sizes. So the next thing we have is that we can alter what the headings actually say. So if we look here, we see this one, hype train conductors, hype train writers. It'll scroll by, maybe we have a lot of those. Oh, here we go, all-time top bits. These headings, these are the titles for those headings or for those categories. So if we scroll down to line 67, right here, which is this line here where new followers is, all the way down to line 88. Okay, you will see that there is the section, which is the events, the groups, the users, hypertrains, and then the top. These are the things that we are tracking in the bot. The key is what the bot will report them as. So it's looking for this key to put that title in. If it's blank, if there is, say, for example, you didn't get a pyramid this time, there will be no pyramid displayed because the pyramid will be empty. Okay. But what we're looking for is this last section over here under title. So the title here is new followers, cheers, new subscribers. And for example, I have on the gift subs, crazy people who gifted subs. Now you can change the titles to anything you like as it shows up here in the instruction line just above. But make sure you do leave everything else alone. So if you don't want it to say crazy peeps who gifted subs, you can say my favorite sub gifters. I don't know, say whatever you want. Right. So you can change the title and then that's what will show up. Now, if you don't want to change them, you don't have to. You can leave them all alone. But this is what you're looking at to change those headings and what they actually say if you want to. Okay. And then again, the last thing we have, we're going to leave all of the JavaScript and all the HTML alone other than those. And we're going to come in here and we're going to go ahead and save before we change this to test credits. And we're going to save, and then we're going to come back and we're going to check it out. And what we want to do is we want to turn the visibility off to reset it and turn it back on. And now you can see we have our new colors in our new fonts. And there's the everything going by, and we can see our headings. We can come in here, we can change the position of it. Maybe we want it over on the right so we can have our webcam here or on the left. But once you get it wherever you like it, we're going to go ahead and lock it down so it can't be moved again. We're happy with this color, which gross, we're really not. Hopefully you don't choose these exact colors. But if you do, you do. That's up to you. Whatever your vibe is. I'm not here to yuck your yum. So we're gonna lock that down. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna go back to the HTML one final time, and we're gonna change test credits over here back to get credits. We're gonna save the HTML file, and then we can turn this visibility off and then back on, and then we're good. And there it is. So now it's going to pull in whatever you have for your current thing. Now, if you're just turning the credits on for the first time, these may be completely empty. But the next time you go live, they will begin to fill out. And that's it, guys. That's a quick one. You're done. Close everything down and get ready to go live and have credits. So there you go. Scrolling credits for your stream. Simple. Make sure that you grab the HTML file from the Ko-Fi link below. It is free. It is set to free. So just put 0 in the little price box and then you can get the little download. And again, if you don't want to follow the video, that's fine. We do have the text file, README file in there that has all of these same instructions in it for you as well. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a little thumbs up because it makes me feel good. If you're new to the channel, hi. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, go ahead and click that subscribe button because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have friends. And it also helps you know when I post new tutorials or go live, which we do every Saturday to answer your streaming related questions live right there on stream. But that's it. So enjoy your new credits. I can't wait to see what kind of styles and crazy fonts you come up with. And I hope you enjoy. And if you did enjoy and you do use them, leave me a little comment to let me know that you are using them in your channel and how your community is reacting to them. But until next time, everybody, take care of yourself and we'll see you. Love, peace, and chicken grease.